So recently, I was given a patron request for the movie The Breed, which is produced by Wes Craven and is about a bunch of killer dogs on an island. And the reason it was requested was because there was a loose remake coming out called A Breed Apart. Now, this movie stars Grace Caroline Curry alongside of Virginia Gardner, and they both starred together in a movie called Fall just from like a year or two ago. So it was pretty cool to see them back together. This movie also has Hayden Panettiere in it, and the movie is definitely stacked with some very attractive women, as you can see. But unfortunately, that is probably the only positive I will have to say for this film. This film was absolutely dreadful. This is a film that I should have known was going to be terrible had I looked up the directors of this movie, who have made like 4 of those dreadful shark titles like Trailer Park Shark, Nightmare Shark, Ghost Shark, that kind of shit. Their lowest rated movie we have on there is a movie called Universal Soldiers or something like that. A Jean-Claude Van Damme ripoff title, of course. And it has like a 1.6. Most of their films range between a 2 and a 3 on IMDb. Oh boy, I should have known. How people like this continue to keep getting money to make movies is insane to me. It's hard enough for us to get one movie made, and these guys seem to get endless trash cans made. I just don't get it. Now, the movie is presenting itself as a self-aware, goofy comedy. And when you take big swings, you can definitely have huge misses. And I definitely can applaud people for trying, right? Like, comedy is difficult. And it's hard to land comedy. And the harder you go in the comedy, the more that you can fail. And this just becomes painful to watch. This is attempts at comedy that never really land. Now, the good thing is that in the credits of the movie, it looks like they do the like blooper reel and everyone on set making the film kind of thing. It looks like everyone was having a great time making this, and I'm sure there was a lot of laughs to be had on the making side of things. But on the watching side of things, there unfortunately was no laughs to be had, none that were intentional anyway. The premise of this film on its face, and don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and try to take this film seriously or think that they ever did either. But the setup for this film is so poorly conceived. It has been given beyond zero thought that I honestly felt like I kept missing things. Because the way the movie starts is you have Hayden Panettiere playing some pseudo version of herself, playing Hayden something or other. And she is making a movie on this island with dogs. And the animal wranglers that are there on the set, they, find that these dogs have gotten out of their cages. They track it. They get bitten by these bats with super rabies, I'm assuming. And they attack the crew. Boom. Move to years later. And we are now following, oh God, dreaded influencers. I apologize if I ever come off as a YouTube influencer. I never intend to do so, because these are the most insufferable people, and they have unfortunately just bombarded the horror genre with characters that are influencers. God damn it. How many characters? And I get it. It's very modern, and there is a lot of influencers, and especially with something found footage, this isn't. But it lends itself very easily to the found footage subgenre because they're always recording themselves. They're always on camera, and they love anything that's clickbaity. So if something crazy's happening, you bet your ass they're going to be filming it. So I get why, but man, the influencers are already annoying. Then you have actors trying to play annoying influencers, and it's a fine line to parody them in a way that is enjoyable. Unfortunately, much like real life, they're insufferable to watch. Now, the premise from there, once we get to the modern time, is that we have some Mr. Beast type of figure who has put together this harebrained scheme to bring together 5 very popular social media stars to this island. I think it's 5, doesn't matter. And they're going to compete to win the island as a prize, but the island is known for being inhabited by dogs. Now, the dogs earlier were on the set and got out and killed people, and everyone fled. Then this island has been taken over, very similar to like the Lost World in Jurassic Park. And yes, there are quite a few nods to Jurassic Park in this film. But he's trying to give the island away to the winner. I can't even honestly remember now what he said, because this film is so fucking terrible. It really is shocking how bad I actually thought this was. The CGI on the dogs is some of the most laughable effects I've seen. Now, once again, laughable, right? How much of this is intentional? We are talking about the people who brought us Trailer Park Shark, Nightmare Shark, right? So they're going to bring a certain quality to them, and to them, this might be funny. The difference between old bad movies, we've talked about this on the channel way too many times, is that old bad movies have charm to them that translates to humor, right? These like self-aware, so bad it's good on purpose films of the modern era, they almost never work. It is so rare that they ever work. The dialogue in this film, while once again, all of it is attempting to be tongue-in-cheek, it's all supposed to be a joke, it's all supposed to be very self-aware. This reminded me a bit of the movie Clickbait Unfollow, a Tubi original that I watched last year. But man, I just was sitting in awe watching this film. And this has to be the worst film I've seen all year. Yes, and that's coming from the guy who watched all 3 of the Popeye movies that came out this year. Popeye's Revenge, Shiver Me Timbers, and Popeye the Slayer Man. As well as 2 Mickey Mouse horror films, The Screamboat and Mousetrap. Maybe Mousetrap was last year. I couldn't even get through Mouseboat Massacre. It was so terrible. I literally couldn't push myself to watch another one. I've watched a lot of really bad films this year. But what this film has that those other films didn't have is it has a budget. It has talent, right? I've seen a few of these actors. The one guy in this movie is from the Meg movies. He's fairly funny in those, and there's moments in this movie where I got like a sort of laugh, maybe intentionally, maybe off of something that they had said in there that was like, okay, that was kind of stupid, funny, whatever. But most of it was just painful. And when you have, like, I don't know how you get all of these people in this film and for it to be this poor, because I feel like there's a good amount of talent here. And it is sad to watch someone like Virginia Gardner make really silly films when I feel like she has a lot of potential to her. I just recently watched the movie Fuck, Marry, Kill with her as well, which I totally forgot to review on the channel, so I might have to do that later. That was better than this, for sure. This is just shocking levels of bad. There's a scene where there's a dog running behind a guy, and its feet aren't even touching the ground. The CGI composite dog in the background is so poor. I'm not exaggerating. Like, just running in the air, kind of closest to the ground. but they must have hired whoever did their effects for, Nightmare Shark or Toilet Shark or fucking whatever movie they made, and had them here. This movie definitely had somewhat of a budget, and it's just completely wasted on bad CGI and decent actors that are given nothing. And I'm glad they look like they had fun in the end, as I said, making the movie, but I had no fun watching this movie. They do have one cute little wink and nod to the movie Fall from our two characters. I liked to see that in the moment. I was like, oh, that's cute that there's a little self-referential Fall gag joke, wink to the audience line. And as I said, Jurassic Park stuff here and there. And yeah, there is some parts of this movie that emulate the scenes from The Breed with Michelle Rodriguez. There's a couple scenes that I was like, oh yeah, that's straight out of the other movie. The other movie is played completely seriously. It is a full-on serious thriller. This is a complete parody goofball comedy with insufferable, it's the perfect word, I keep using it. I'm becoming insufferable using it, but it is the literal perfect description of absolutely everything in this film, especially our characters. And man, oh man, the Grace Caroline Curry is so fucking cute and likable, especially like in this film even. But even she can't save this movie. This is a truly dreadful film. Sitting through this was a chore, to say the least. I don't know. I don't even know why I watched it. It has a 2.5 currently on IMDb. I didn't even see that until I was about 30 minutes in, and I was like, is this as bad as I think it is? Am I crazy right now? Is this really just this dreadful? How? And I went to IMDb and I saw the 2.5 and I was like, okay. Now, do I think this movie might find its audience? If you're vibing with the comedy and you're like, oh, come on, man, you can't take this film seriously. At no point did I ever take this film seriously. I tried very hard to vibe with the comedy. I really did. Now, if you found the comedy in this, if you were somebody who got together with a bunch of friends and you had some drinks and you threw this on, this movie's fucking insane. This movie might be a very entertaining watch to throw on with your buddies and a few drinks and you're like, holy shit, let's watch this insane film. The guy is building like a monorail kind of system on the island. We see parts of it, but it never makes itself part of the film. There's all these like random fucking things. As I said, once again, the whole plot of the movie is that they're going to come there and like tame the dogs or something, and then they're going to win the island, and somehow this is going to get them mass amounts of clicks. And there's not an attempt at any kind of coherent story. But once again, I think that's the joke. It's once, as I said, it's supposed to be a parody, so I think the plot is supposed to be so asinine. It's supposed to be so nonsensical that that's the joke, that's the humor. Like all of the characters and what they're doing, they all have their different personas. You have like the guy from the Meg, he's like the black cowboy, which his introduction where he's like singing with the cows and the cow has like a GoPro on its head. That stuff, it's like I look at it in theory and I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. And he's bringing such personality. That's just it. Everyone in this movie really is giving it their all. Like there's one guy who is the main character's brother who sustains injuries and throughout most of the film is asking for the Wi-Fi password. Like he's in a daze. And he's like declining more and more, and everyone's risking their life to keep this guy alive, despite the fact that he's almost like a zombie. And a lot of the elements in this film, they do seem like they'd be funny. And maybe the right audience, with the right amount of blood alcohol levels, could have a very enjoyable time with this. I do think that this movie will find its intended audience, but that is going to be a very small audience. But if I would watch this again with a group of friends just to sit in awe of how ridiculous and absurd and how much of a failure it is. But there is some unintentional comedy, but it mostly comes off as like cringeworthy, where you're like, oh man, this is just kind of embarrassing. But that's just it. Once again, I applaud him for taking the swing, because I do think comedy like this is very, very hard to land, and when you don't land it, you really run the risk of making a movie like this. What a batshit insane film with the most insanely terrible CGI I've seen in a film in a while. All of the dog, though, there's this one dog called Spike. Oh my god, guys, you like, I know I'm selling this movie to some of you, and that's fine. Have at it. I won't blame you for wanting to see how ridiculous this film is. Oh my god, the ending scene, which you're not going to be surprised at all because of how they set it up. It's like, of course you know what's going to happen, but god, this is a movie I can't watch it again. But like right now, maybe someday in the future with friends and whatnot that we can sit down. But this is the kind of movie, like, to do a spoiler discussion would probably be one of the most mind melting things for me to do, because trying to break down any kind of logic, even though that's not the attempt of the film, would be just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. There's an ending scene with a helicopter and like a badass coming to help, and when I realized that they came on their own, completely on their own, that really fucking blew my mind. That blew my mind. If you watch it, you'll see what I mean. Holy hell, this movie's insane. So I might have just sold it to a lot of you. Viewer beware. You're in for not a scare. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta go. All right, let me know. Bye.